Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then welcome as well. And my name is Cassie. Please make sure to hit that bell, that subscribe first, and then hit the bell notification so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. So this is going to be a two-part video. The first part being about the unfortunate circumstances or harder to deal with things that come with having a visual impairment, and then the second video is going to be about the fortunate things and good things that come with having a visual impairment. And yes, there are good things that come with that. So let's get started. So like I said, this video is going to be about the unfortunate side or kind of harder situations to deal with having a visual impairment, and these are just my takes, my personal opinions on what I have issues with. And so the first one is you can't drive. So not being able to drive kind of puts a damper on a lot of different things. I can't go to doctor's appointments or go to the store or just drive down to a friend's house or go take a class like a college class or even like a yoga class. So that can be very difficult. You always have to have kind of a chauffeur or someone to drive you around that can take you places. Number two is cleaning. Cleaning can be frustrating because I can't see a lot of dust and dirt that gets left behind and stuff like that, or even whatever things are dirty. I have a harder time seeing it, and so I heard that a lot of people work in a grid system, and that's usually what I do since we have a tiled floor. I usually work 6 to 8 tiles at a time, like when I'm sweeping or mopping. So that's a good way to go about things, is using a grid system. And then whenever I'm cleaning surfaces, I can usually feel if things are dirty. So that can be kind of gross, but that's the only way to kind of know that it's clean. So that's usually what I do, but it does make things harder with a visual impairment, not being able to see dust and dirt and think that you've cleaned things and then you really haven't. The third thing about a visual impairment, and it makes things a little bit harder or more difficult, is gaming. I play a lot of video games. Some of my favorites are Bioshock, Batman, Guild Wars 2, Skyrim. And they're beautiful games, but it just kind of makes it difficult when you have a visual impairment, because you can be shooting at something or someone and you think that you're shooting at them and then you're not, and then you get killed, or you try to move out of the way in time for an area effect or somebody bombing you, and then you get killed again. So it can just be a little frustrating, and I have to sit so close to the TV to be able to see. It's crazy. I was actually watching the Blind Life, his video that he did on gaming the other day, and how close he has to sit to the TV, and that's usually like I have to sit right in front of the TV to be able to see it. I'm right there with him, and it can't be like him, it can't be too big either. Like a 40 something inch is usually a good size. So if it's bigger than that, then I can't see all of it at once. And so yeah, but with like racing games like Mario Kart and stuff like that, I just try to do it the best that I can, because everything goes by so quickly, and just even in like combat and fighting and stuff, it just goes by so quickly that sometimes I just can't see things in time. And that's usually why I try to play with friends or some people or a group of people that I know, so that I don't get yelled at, because I don't like it when that happens, because I can't see things in time, and it's I can't help it, So I try to make my characters be able to kill faster than I can take damage, with a lot of different conditions and stuff. So sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. Number 4 is making friends. And making friends can just be kind of more difficult than sighted people, because you have to rely on someone to be able to come and pick you up if they want to do anything with you, and then take you where you need to go or wherever y'all are going to hang out, and then be able to bring you back home. And a lot of people they don't want to have that job of going to get people and kind of chauffeuring them around. But that doesn't, take away from the fact that it does get lonely sometimes. And I guess that's a good way too to find out who your true friends are, because the ones that will actually want to be around you, I guess, will, won't mind coming and picking you up and, you know, taking you where you need to go. But I try not to focus on staying home 5 or 6 days out of the week and everything like that. I try to focus on if I'm going to be doing something with my husband, or if I'm going to be doing something social, like going to an event or going to someone's house to hang out for games or something like that. I try to focus on all of that. And, you know, I'm, like I said before, that I love to be a positive person, so I just try and focus all of that, because the other stuff can just get you down, you know? So don't do that. Don't focus on the negatives. Number 5 is reading. And that is all reading. All reading can be so frustrating. And that's whether it's reading menus or reading just books or reading a piece of paper or whatever you're trying to read. It can just be frustrating, because if it's not big enough, then you know, you have to strain your eyes and to be able to see it, or you have to move it around a certain way to be able to see it. And so I have a love-hate relationship with audiobooks. I like audiobooks, but if the person that's reading it is just monotone and not have any feeling whatsoever, then I'm not going to listen to it. It just is boring. And so I would rather be able to fight with an actual book, or to be able to read it somehow, like with an e-reader or something, to be able to read it, than to listen to an audiobook that has no feeling. And like I said, I know that there's e-readers and there's you can magnify it and make things bigger, but I also like the physical aspect of just holding the book and having a physical copy. So the next one is jobs. And I've had plenty of jobs and stuff like that, but since we moved, I've said in another video that, you know, it just didn't want to work out for me to be able to find a job. I've applied for a lot of different ones. I know it's hard for everyone to find a job, but I think it is harder for people with a disability or a visual impairment to find jobs, because employers, like, we know that we can do the job, but other people don't understand that, it seems, you know, and that can just be really upsetting. And because you're like, I know I can do this job, and probably better than the person that they hired, but you know, they didn't hire you, so what are you gonna do, you know? And so that's one of the reasons I'm doing this too, is to be able to connect with other visually impaired and other people with disabilities. And I look at it in a way too that, you know, if I would have gotten one of those jobs, then I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. So there's just kind of I just try to look at all of these unfortunate things in a positive way too. The last thing that kind of makes life more difficult and like kind of harder with having a visual impairment is I have no depth perception whatsoever. So I trip over things, I fall in holes, I fall upstairs. Yes, fall upstairs. I run into door frames, I'll hit my head on shelves, and it's just, I can't tell how far things are away or how close they are. And it can be painful, because just tripping and running into people and tripping over curbs and up curbs, so that's another reason I'm thinking about also getting a white cane, is maybe that would help that situation. So here's my question for this video. What are some of the things that are harder for you to do with a visual impairment? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's all I have for today. Be sure to look for my next video on Thursday, the good things and positive things about having a visual impairment. Bye guys.